Commission presents Elijah by Noel Speers. Episode 3, Famine in Zarephath.
Our nation was in a mess. Many people had begun to worship the false gods of other countries, and now, to make it all worse, the rivers and streams began to dry up because the Lord God had ordered that there would be neither dew nor rain for the next few years, so creating a shortage of grain and other food. I should explain. My name is Jaziel, and I am a servant in a big house. A house from which one member of the family was later to play an imperative part in our story. Elijah was the youngest son of the household, but he was different to the others, especially relating to the nation's religion. Not only had he been so bold as to challenge the king by walking into his presence and condemning his majesty for neglecting the nation's religion, but later, instead of hiding where he couldn't be found by the king's troops, he openly mixed with the townsfolk at Zarephath and found himself at the home of one of the citizens of that town.
Ma'am, thank you for inviting me into your home.
Where else could you go? What with this drought, the shortage of grain, or anything else to eat?
But you have already shown me such kindness by sharing with me from your bread and water.
Was there anyone else in Zarephath pushing to help you?
I suppose not.
And you did ask me to. I remember your very words. Madam, would you bring me a little water in a jar and perhaps a piece of bread?
It was quite rude of me, but I will explain.
Whatever. It is I who was rude. I should introduce you to my son. Sir, this is Tara. Tara is a quiet lad.
Mother, are you not going to make me the meal that you promised?
Tara, we do not have much, but I will do what I can.
Ma'am, did I not say that the Lord, the God of Israel?
Yes, sir, you did say, if I remember, the jar of flour will not be used up and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day
when God gives rain on the land.
Can that happen? It sounds like a... What's his name?
A miracle.
Miracle? What is a miracle?
That's when the Lord God does something that people can't explain.
Something magic, you mean?
Not really. You see, Tara, the Lord God is all-powerful.
I'm not sure I understand.
When our nation was seeking a place to make its home, it came to a fortified city called Jericho. Now, Jericho was a big city, surrounded with high walls, but our leader, a fine man called Joshua, believed that our God would give the city to the Israelites.
Yes, I've heard of this, Joshua, and also something about the city.
Yes, Tara, you have listened to the tales I once told you. Remind us, sir, what the Lord God did.
For Joshua told the people to march quietly around the city, just once, and then return to the camp they had set up.
And what did that do?
Each day, at the same time, the people once more walked around Jericho and returned to the camp.
But that isn't the end of the tale.
Indeed, ma'am. Having walked around Jericho for 2 days, the people continued to march around the city on the 3rd day and so on until the 6th day.
And for how much longer did that continue?
No, not that much longer. On the 7th day, they all arose at daybreak and marched around the city 7 times.
Yes, and then what?
The priests blew loudly on trumpets and everyone else shouted loudly. And then...
Go on, do go on.
Be patient, Tara.
the wall around the city collapsed and the people were able to capture the city. So Tara, that's our God, the Lord God.
And you believe, sir, that this God will not allow us to go hungry?
Mother, I haven't forgotten the meal that you promised me.
Well, now we will put this Lord God to the test.
Yes, ma'am. It is time for us all to eat.
And with that encouragement, the widow set to, preparing the much-awaited meal for her son and their guest, and within a short time, the three sat down to the meal.
Mother, this meal is great. Thank you. You must have given me so much. I don't think I'll be able to eat it all.
I wasn't conscious that I served any more than normal portions. And there's still some left. Enough flour and oil to make meals for tomorrow.
I have already thanked you for the invitation to come to your home.
Not altogether an invitation now, was it, sir?
Perhaps not, but I must explain. The Lord God told me to come to Zarephath.
Yes. Why do you think that was, sir?
Zarephath? I don't know why, but usually he has a good reason. Doesn't always tell me until later. But that wasn't all that he told me.
Go on. What else?
God said that in Zarephath I would find someone, a widow who would supply me with food and water.
And so that explains your command when we met in the market.
I was quite rude, for which I must apologize. I am sorry.
Does the Lord God always take care of you in this way?
Tara, don't be so nosy.
No, you deserve an explanation, both of you. Whenever the Lord God inflicted the drought upon our nation, he instructed me to go eastward and hide in the Zarephath ravine. And there the ravens brought me bread and meat, both in the morning and in the evening, and I was able to drink each day from a brook.
That must have been very convenient for you. But why come here now to take our food? We don't have very much left.
Tara, now that is not very respectful.
No, you have a right to know. I have told you of God's supply of food and water at the Zarephath ravine, but after a time, because of the drought, the brook dried up, and at the same time the bread and meat, they stopped coming.
Must have been frustrating. I mean, after all, the Lord God had been kind in providing everything you needed, and then suddenly Just to
stop, you mean, Tara? I understand what you're thinking, but I accepted that God was telling me it was time to move on.
So you were told to come to Zarephath and look out for a widow, and you just happened to meet my mother at the town gate.
I don't know why I was there in the market. I didn't need any firewood, but I just felt I should go into the village. And when I was there, what better to do than gather up some firewood? No sooner had I begun my task than this stranger asked me for a little water in a jar and perhaps a piece of bread.
Yes, I really was quite rude.
No, you were quite polite. What amused me was that of all the people in the market this morning, you asked the one person who was perhaps least able to meet your request.
God does not always answer our requests in the most obvious way or by using the person we would first choose. But God never leaves me without some sign of what the next step should be.
Now let me understand what you are saying. You don't know where next you're going to be going.
Now, Tara, don't be so rude.
No, the boy is right to be curious. It must seem strange to you, for I can't really answer the question. Just not at the moment.
Come on now, Tara. We must tidy up after our meal.
The hostess and her son set to clearing everything away after the meal. Elijah was made to feel very welcome in the neat little home and remained there that evening. The next morning, before Elijah left, both the widow and Tara were eager to learn just why, of all the people who lived in Zarephath, God should have chosen them to have the privilege of acting as hosts to Elijah.
I don't know, but the Lord God does what appears to be strange things. And there are times when perhaps it is only years later that we know why. That is, if we ever know why things happen.
Sir, I think that I'm beginning to understand.
Mother, don't be silly. You can't possibly understand.
Tara, just let me explain. Didn't I tell you that this morning I decided to go into the village to collect some firewood?
Yes, you did.
And that I did so despite having plenty of firewood here at home?
Yes, you did.
Well, can't you see it, Tara?
Not really, Mother.
If I hadn't gone into Zarephath to collect the firewood that I didn't need, I would not have met you, sir. And you would not...
Not have asked for a little water in a jar?
And perhaps a piece of bread. Yes, I believe that you both are beginning to understand what I mean.
You are suggesting that your God arranged that I should be in the village at just that moment, so that there would be someone to give you water.
Surely not, sir.
And why not, Terah?
Your God, sir, he doesn't look after such minor details as supplying someone with a drink. Surely not.
And why not? The Lord God of Israel has a task to be done. So I will not be able to complete that job without remaining healthy. So I needed food and water, and that explains my request to your mother. That is why my God cares for minor details, as you put it.
And just what is this job, as you put it, that your God has?
I don't know just now, but I'm sure the Lord God will tell me at the proper time, whenever I need to know. But 2 things I do know.
Yes?
1, he has chosen me to do it, and just as important, he has chosen you and your mother to help me.
Go on.
Well, I can't. The Lord God doesn't show his people the full details of this task ahead until the time has come to complete it. So, I must wait until I am instructed.
So I assume that you will remain here in Zarephath.
Yes, until I have to go on. I'm sorry that both of you will be burdened with me.
Oh, never worry. You're a pleasant guest.
Thank you. Don't you think we should relax now?
And all the time that Elijah was there, both the jar of flour and the jug of oil did not run dry. For a time, Elijah's God proved faithful to him, the widow, and her son Terah. But all was not to remain so.
Good morning, ma'am. I trust that all is well with you both.
All is not well with us both. What have you got against me and Terah, my son? You so-called man of God.
There is something wrong? Do tell me what.
It is Terah. Sir, he is ill. I don't know what the matter is.
It seems to be quite sudden. Last night Terah was...
Yes, last night he was quite normal. Slept quite normally, but during the night he suddenly woke with a severe headache and was sweating.
Perhaps I should go and see him.
No, sir. Terah is quite ill and should be allowed to rest.
However, the next morning, a distraught widow found that her beloved son Terah had stopped breathing. She had begun to believe in this man of God, Elijah. She had faith that this God would care for her. What was she to think now? How would this affect her attitude to Elijah and, more importantly, her faith in God?
What do you have against me, man of God?
He is still unwell?
Unwell? Terah is dead. My son has gone.
I am sorry.
Man of God, have you come to remind me of my sin and kill my son?
Allow me to see your son.
What good will this do? He is dead.
Please, please, my dear woman.
Very well. Come this way.
In Elijah by Noel Speers, the part of Elijah was played by Peter Richardson. Other parts were by the Commission Radio Drama Team. The programme was produced by Jennifer Hobson and recorded at Commission Studios in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Episode 4 is entitled The Big Challenge.